Welcome to the I'm Bobby,
I'm Shay.
and we talk about I don't even know the order what we're doing anymore. Um, we talk about whatever the frick we want to in the order that we want to when I remember. Um, Today we're gonna talk about what we wanted to be when we grew up. So, uh, do you want to go?
Yeah,
Or
I'll
do
go
we
first. Sure,
okay.
I'll go first. I had like a whole bunch of things I wanted to be because apparently decisiveness wasn't in my character. But the first thing I actually wanted to be was a juggler in the circus.
How old are you for this?
I started wanting to do that when I was about 8 or 9.
And you knew how to juggle at that point?
I taught myself, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
My sister had a boyfriend and he was like a million miles tall, like seriously like giraffe level tall. But he could juggle.
Bless you. Did she marry him?
No, she didn't.
Okay.
And it's okay.
Then we're good. We're safe.
It's all right. And he gave her a set of juggling balls, which I promptly stole. Sorry.
Oh.
And then I taught myself how to juggle because I thought he was the coolest thing on the planet. So I totally taught myself. The blood and bruises I got on my knuckles. Oh my gosh. Because I taught myself.
They give you rocks?
No. So one of the best things you can do if you want to learn how to juggle is find like a wall, but a wall that also has like sides, like.
Do you mean sides that are jutting out so you're in a box? Or
Yeah,
sides
like
so
you're in a box.
Okay.
Yeah, like you're in a box that's roughly larger than your juggling
width.
You're juggling with. And I had the perfect spot for it.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, you're 9, 10, totally uncoordinated and stupid. So like I would just hit the walls. I had some bruises and I
oh my gosh.
But I caused myself to bleed a few times, but I'll tell you what, within a couple months I was juggling in an absolute flat pattern at a perfect height and a perfect width.
Wow.
It was awesome. It was so much fun. And then like it was a great skill going into like junior high and then into high school.
Was it?
It was because we had this.
Come up?
No, a lot. You'd be surprised.
Oh,
so
I am surprised.
It was always a great conversation starter. I always carried juggling balls in my backpack. And people would come up to me like, "Hey, you're the girl that juggles," and it forced me to get out of my comfort zone. It forced me to talk to people. But in high school, we had a trigonometry teacher that would give kids extra credit if they learned how to juggle. And I was like,
you were like, I'm ready.
Teacher.
I'm ready right now.
Well, no, I failed trig, but
I will finish on this extra credit.
I totally failed trig. But I probably taught, I don't know, 100 people maybe, and that's not an exaggeration. I'm probably underplaying how many people I taught how to juggle. So I might not be able to do trigonometry, but I can sure juggle.
Can't do math.
Obviously, the circus didn't work out because you have to know people to get into the circus, and
it's like Costco.
Yeah, Also, juggling, by the time you could walk, you're not ever going to be good enough.
It's like if you weren't skating when you plopped out.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah. So I never did get to join the circus. In fact, I've never even been to a circus, but I would love to go. Would 100%. Like Cirque du Soleil. I want to go so bad.
I'd love to see Cirque du Soleil. I kept thinking about the sad ones in the tent.
Oh no, we don't do that. Elephant prison, no. That's sad.
That's what I was thinking. I was like flashbacks to like We're Back, and that's like a 90s movie about dinosaurs, and they like suck the souls with the guy's screw eye.
No, we're talking crazy. Like Cirque du Soleil. I want to be one of those people.
One of those flipperoos.
Yeah. That is so cool. I would have loved that.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Anyways, that's what I want to do. What did you want to do?
I wanted to be a vet for so freaking long. I was like, I love animals. And that was all it was. Mm-hmm. I love petting them. I love whatever. And it wasn't until I don't even know what happened. And all of a sudden it clicked and was like,
you got to kill puppies sometimes.
You have to cut that open.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a solid no for me. Thank you.
Yep.
I don't want to do anything. I don't want to cut open the sad. I don't want to cut open whatever the frick. I don't want to watch them have the babies. I don't want to watch them die.
You just wanted to cuddle. You wanted to be a dog walker is what you wanted to be.
Yeah. I just wanted to pet and call it a day.
Yep.
So that was a solid no. That or an artist, in which I never did art.
But you went to graphic design for college, didn't you?
No, that literally was after years and years of associates just doing like, hey, I don't have any idea what to do. And then I accidentally asked and was like, oh, this is actually neat. And then I took web design, and then halfway through that I was like, my brain doesn't take this. This doesn't accept this information. And so I switched to graphic design because it was in the like, there was like a few whatever, and I was like, I like creativity. I don't.
You don't. Which is funny because I would say you're one of the most creative people that I know.
But that's like on my own time, and I can like flip through the things that I want to do,
but not for a job.
But not for a job, because that stuff's insane. Where you'll be like, here is mock-up A, B, C, and C is obviously the best, and you're like, and they're like, I like A,
and you're like, no.
A was just to make a third option, so why the freak? And they're like, I like A, and you're like, oh gosh, and they were like, we can't hire you because you don't have experience. And I'm like,
thanks.
You literally said you liked my brochure I made. So
isn't that experience?
Isn't that enough for you? And they're like, well, you don't know the equipment we use. And I was like, well, I
right.
guess I'll quit this then. Thank you.
Oh man, that sucks.
No, it's fine because it's whatever. I mean, I'm here now.
Yours was like so much more practical than mine. I'm like, I want to juggle.
Yeah, but at least yours was like on a whim of like whatever, not just like I got an empty head and this is all that it is. You're like, man. I would love to have aspirations, and I just was like, vet, like everyone else, because every other kid
I wanted to be a vet for 2.5 seconds. Yeah.
See, every kid wants to be a veterinarian or an artist, and then they're like, oh, never mind. That
I had really helpful and older siblings though, which it's gonna sound terrible, but they were great at crushing dreams. It was really good. It was good. I feel bad for saying that, and if they ever listen to this, that's not what I mean, okay? But like
you're like, and unfollow. Okay.
No, but like they're really good at it because they're like, yeah, you have to kill puppies, and you're like, oh, that's right, and or like no good. Oh, I can't remember. There's another job that I wanted to do, and they're like, you have to do gross things. And I was like, oh, cured, you know?
Yeah, that's
so
enough
like,
of that. Thank
they
you.
just jump to it.
I guess, but like, that seems really kind of poopy. At least like you like go into it, and as you're going, you're like, are you blind to that? You've been in here for 3 years, and we know you don't like the color blue.
Oh, man. No, okay. Later on, though, like when I was still trying to figure out like college age and stuff, one of the things I wanted to do was I actually wanted to be a fire tower watcher. Like you go up and live in the fire tower. I had a friend. Yeah. He was a hotshot, so he was a fire jumper. So they go behind the lines and put it out. And he was like, wow. You are perfect for that job. Do you understand how perfect you are for that job? And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. You go up there, you sit up there, you watch, and you read books. And that's what you do. And every 3 hours, you send in a report, and then you sleep in the quiet and peace. And that's like perfect for you. And I was like, man, I would have totally done that. I wanted to do that when I got home from the mission. That was the plan. I was totally going to do it. And then I fell in love and got married.
Darn it.
I fell in love and got married.
What was I doing then? I didn't go on a mission. I'm not married. Like, no. Why am I not in a tower right now?
No, getting married was the better choice. But at the same time, man, that would have been such a cool job. Would have loved that.
Oh my gosh.
You're like 100 miles out in the middle of nowhere. The closest person to you is like 50 miles away. You can barely see their watchtower out there, and it's just you, books, and the trees. I would have loved it.
See, if you would just add Wi-Fi to that, I'd have been golden.
They probably have Wi-Fi.
That's true.
What else did you want to do, though? What other things? Anything else?
That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Dude!
That's why I'm saying my creativity was nothing.
No, in a world of infinite possibilities, you didn't think of anything else you wanted to do?
That's why I'm saying you had creativity, and I was just like, I got an empty noggin. Everyone's on the vet train, and I just kept sitting there as the station stopped and passed, and I went, and everyone got off, and they're like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and then they finally stopped, and they're like, get out, it's college time. And I was like, oh, nuts.
Oh, that's
I don't
funny.
know. And then I bebopped around and took some dance classes for no reason, and like, well,
at least you ended up with a job. I don't even have
Weber,
a job.
DATC, all the whatever. Like
university, I did not approve of university. I didn't like it. I didn't feel like it prepared me for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I quit. I was like, this is dumb. This is not going to get me.
So where'd you go to secretary school at?
I went to university first, and then I came home and went to a tech college. So yeah,
like DDTC.
It was they called it LDS Business College back then, but it's something like Ensign College now, I think. So yeah, and it was lame. I hated it. It was a bad choice. I regret it. Should not have done it.
What the frick?
No.
You brag about being an organizer.
I am
a filer.
I was organized before I went. I didn't need them to teach me how to be organized.
You didn't need a degree in filing?
I did not need a degree in filing.
Are you sure? Because you bring it up often. I feel like you need it.
for my soul.
For the sign. So you can be that lady, whatever the frick.
I am so good at it.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, if you got a skill, brag it up, man.
Oh my gosh.
I can file anything.
I can breathe really well sometimes.
You know what? I can't. So good job. Our asthma friends out there.
No, you have asthma.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, for anybody else.
Shout out you.
No, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
No. But like, okay, so the other thing I always wanted to do though, even more than the juggling though, was to be a writer. Wow. I really wanted to.
You're there.
And I'm there. Okay, but the thing is like someone told me early on, they're like, no. And I was like, what? And they're like, no, you're not good enough. And I was like, oh,
you're not good enough?
Yeah, they said you're never.
Am I illiterate? That's what I would have said. Do you think I'm illiterate?
I love them dearly, so, but they were dead wrong, and that's okay. I probably would have started writing this book 20 years ago if I had not listened to them.
Dude,
I wish I had.
I'd have turned around and been like, you tell me the 3 ways to use a comma.
Yeah.
Tell them to me right now.
I can't do that.
No, not them.
Okay, them.
Okay. They'd have been like, you tell me.
Yeah.
You tell me what a conjunction is.
Yeah.
You know, and just like stare at them.
I think they
Oh my
objected to
gosh.
my ideas more than my actual
Like literacy.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have just
They're
like
you're
fought him
just
back and been like,
not.
this is like a
Yeah.
side gig. If you would have quit everything and been like, I'm a writer, I'd have been
Well,
like,
no, that's
"Eee."
see, and that's what I think is so
No.
interesting is you can write and still have another life,
That's what I'm
right? Like
saying.
most people who write books have 9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm lucky because I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I can kind of write at when my kids are in school, which is really nice.
Right.
But
That wasn't your plan, right?
It was not the plan. It was never.
See,
Well,
so
as
stop
soon as
being a wiener and
I
let me
know
write.
when that person told me that though, it crushed me. It really did, and it did. It set me back 20 years.
That's
and
disgusting.
I just wish that I had started sooner because you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do what you choose to do. It's fascinating. Anyway, so I'm doing it. I'm gonna write a book. It's gonna be great. So
yes.
Anyway, there you go. That's what I wanted to be. So many other things though. Like, how could you not have like a million things you wanted to do?
I told you, I just didn't like when it came to college and everyone's like, oh, I know exactly where I'm going and what I want to be. And I was like, oh, frick, we're going to college. Oh, nutsack. Like, oh, okay. I'm a senior and I should know where I'm going. And I just was like, I didn't even have a thought process of like how to figure it out. Like, it just blanked. Like, I literally just was like, I didn't even know how to figure that out. Like, how to, where I'm going, and just was whatever. And my parents were just like, well, your dad went to Weber, so you should probably go to Weber and you could stay at home.
See, and I didn't even have that conversation with my parents either. We didn't talk about college at all.
What the frick?
I was too dumb.
No, and that's why they said you were illiterate. No, we never talked about college growing up ever at anything growing up at all. So that's fine if your parents never whatever.
But it wasn't. I didn't have the grades to go, so no one ever bothered to talk to me about it.
I guess we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, we did talk about it earlier. Yeah,
schooling.
But like to be a photographer for National Geographic,
dude,
doesn't that sound so much
amazing.
Fun? I know, right? Oh man, I would have loved that. So
I wish you would have told me about these freaking things, and maybe my brain would have turned on. Holy frick!
I wanted to do that so bad, and then I took a photography class, and I realized I have no talent, none whatsoever. I'm actually a really bad photographer, and I was like, wow. And I mean, you could learn, right? Like you could be taught.
I don't even know what that means. You took pictures of the ground?
No, it's just. Some people have I pointed at the thing I was supposed to point out.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you can't be bad as long as it's in focus.
Some people have a skill of being able to capture the light just right.
Sure, but those people are like the elite.
Well, yeah, they're like the Ansel Adams, right?
Sure.
But like I remember, so as part of my senior project, we had to go do an internship with a person that you wanted to have that kind of job. So I went with a wedding photographer, which admittedly is very different than photographing cheetahs or whatever.
Then you gotta deal with all those people that are upset and hungry and
no, it was fine. But like it was interesting because he was like, okay, so see how the light works like this, and I was like, no, like I didn't understand, like I just didn't get it, and I realized it's not gonna happen. But man, I would have loved to do that for National Geographic.
That would have been amazing.
Maybe what I should do is write for him instead.
Oh yeah.
Like I'll go find a photographer. They'll take the pictures and I'll write the articles.
You tell me what you see out there.
You tell me
I'll
what
write
you
it
see.
with the right commas.
Yeah, they have one that's National Geographic history, and that would be my jam. I would love to write articles for that someday. That'd be super cool.
That would be cool.
I got another 10 years of school to go through to get that though. But anyway, okay. So yeah, but like. It was fun to think about what you wanted to be growing up. I'm curious what other people wanted to do when they were little.
Sure. And don't tell us veterinarian. We already know that was on the train. Everyone was on the train.
Everyone wanted to be a vet.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I was on the train the whole time I saw you. So.
Are there any jobs you knew right away you didn't want to do?
Medical. Anything medical. I was straight off like, no thanks.
For me, it was food service.
Oh yeah.
I never wanted to touch food.
And there was part that was like, even now, I'm like, there's part of me that wants to join, like my aunt works for Taco Time, and I'm like, that sounds like
you could do that.
I like just like the I don't want to be like the rush, but like the rush of being like get the orders out, I like games like that where you just like play those games where they're like, I'm ordering a burger, bam 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 bam, here you go, burger and fries, bam 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam.
Oh and no! Like whatever, but that would be so boring to me.
Would it?
Oh my gosh!
The rush of like, hey, there's a huge line, and you're like, gotta get him out.
No, like for me specifically, it was always like fast food. Very specifically, like I did not want to make the same burger 85 times a day. I didn't want to do that.
What the?
I didn't want to.
Well,
but
don't work at Arby's.
No,
Taco Time.
Well, that's
where there's more things.
No, but like it's funny though because I hated that, but then my brother became a chef, and it is so much fun to cook with him. I love it.
I hate cooking.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's so much fun. I love it when he teaches me stuff and like gives me a little bit of skill or information, and then he's so generous when he instructs and teaches.
It's like cool to watch.
It's really cool.
I like watching cooking shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, I do too. Like Great British Baking Show.
I just want to stab my eyes.
No, it's so much fun. I love it, but I would not want to do it like on a line. Like where you're like, okay, this is the 87th Big Mac I've made. Well, you know, that would be so boring. I would hate it so much.
See, and I'm like, bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, got him.
That's how I feel about. That's how I feel about being a secretary. Is like, ooh, organize.
Dude, oh, I love filing. Yeah. Got it. Look at this. It looks freaking sick. That's why I like mowing the lawns. Look at that edge. Yep. Done. Got him.
That's totally how I feel about being a secretary. Like, look how clean my desk is.
Are you glad you have a degree?
It's a certificate, not a degree.
Whatever. That's what I have too. So
I'm not as cool as my husband. Okay, he has a degree.
Bro, your husband
is a genius.
He's the tops.
He is the tops.
Really, no one can top that guy.
No. Anyway, okay, all right. I'm curious though. Tell us in the comments what your dream job was and a job that you would absolutely hate.
Yeah. I'm curious. Tell us what you wanted to be and what you turned out to be.
Oh, that's better.
Because then sometimes it takes a turn.
I
want to be a vet and now I'm a taxidermist. Like, what is it?
That's a great one. I like that.
Yeah. Either way, tell us about your lives.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye.